I genuinely need a minute to recover.
Same. I am unwell.
Like, tonight, we literally watched people who willingly sleep in a room with 12 snoring, sweating strangers find true, actual love in 8 weeks.
Allegedly.
No, true love.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I am still getting ghosted by men who list crypto as a core personality trait. It's fine. Babes, welcome back. We love you, we see you, and honestly, the villa doors might be closing tonight, but our dating lives, still an absolute irredeemable shambles.
Utter chaos. I mean, I am genuinely reeling after watching that finale, but honestly, mostly because it just forces me to look in the mirror and realize that a man named Simba, who spent 3 weeks practically salivating over every woman who walked by, has managed to secure a committed relationship.
Yay!
And I am out here in the absolute trenches of the modern dating ecosystem, just, begging for a crumb of consistent text communication.
The bar is in hell. It is literally in the Earth's crust. But you know what? We have the frozen strawberry margaritas on deck for the Snark Squad today because it is finale night, baby.
It is.
And we are celebrating like we personally survived Casa Amor. So cheers to that, bestie. Clink.
Clink, babes. Another season of complete romantic delusion in the books. And I desperately needed this margarita because I opened my dating apps this morning. And let me tell you, the algorithm is actively punishing me.
Oh, no. What did you do?
Nothing. But it has provided 0 useful results. Literally none. The well is entirely dry. It's like the apps just decided that because I swiped left on, like, one too many guys holding up a dead fish, I am simply no longer eligible for human connection.
The well is toxic. It is a biological hazard zone out there. I mean, I received a message yesterday that was so bad, like so uniquely horrific, that it legitimately deserves its own psychological case study.
Wait, I need to know. What did he say?
He opened with, and I quote, "You look like my ex, but in a way that I think I could fix."
Stop it.
I am dead serious.
Wait, pause. We actually need to unpack the sheer, unadulterated audacity of that sentence. In a way that I could fix. Like, what does that even mean in a practical sense? Is the man a mechanic? Are you a broken Honda Civic? The fact that a human man typed those words, looked at them, and thought, yes, this is the optimal way to initiate romance is staggering to me.
It is. It shows a complete breakdown in basic social conditioning. I don't know what they're teaching men anymore.
Nothing. They're learning nothing.
And it's the agony of it all, because if it's not a deeply concerning psychological red flag like that, it's just, hey.
Oh, the hey.
Over and over again. Every single conversation starts with, hey, and then you reply, hey, how are you? And then it just dies immediately. It flatlines.
It is so exhausting trying to drag a conversation out of someone who basically communicates like a dial-up modem.
Yes. And meanwhile, we are sitting on our couches watching these reality TV contestants who literally have 0 access to the outside world, finding their absolute soulmates.
Okay, soulmates is doing a monumental amount of heavy lifting there, my romantic friend.
They are in love.
Look, I give half these couples maybe 6 weeks before we get the coordinated black background notes app breakup statements on Instagram. I'm just saying.
You are so cynical.
I am realistic. But, okay, your overarching point absolutely stands. They are finding men who can at least string a coherent sentence together for the cameras, while we are finding men who think asking, do you like stuff, is a captivating icebreaker.
Exactly. It just makes you wonder, is meeting someone organically just a mythical event now? Like, does it even happen?
It's like seeing a unicorn or finding a perfectly ripe avocado at the grocery store. It just doesn't happen in the wild anymore.
It has to be a myth because everyone has their headphones in, they're looking at their screens, completely walled off from the physical environment.
Oh, speaking of being walled off and huddled inside, we urgently need to talk about this thunderstorm energy happening right now.
Oh my God, the thunder.
Did you hear that massive crack a few minutes ago? It sounded exactly like the producer sound effects they play right before a text message comes in.
Grease Islanders.
My soul literally left my body. The mood outside right now is completely apocalyptic. Is pouring rain, the sky is bruised purple. And I'm not gonna lie, I fully panicked about 20 minutes before we started recording.
You were texting me in all caps.
I was sprinting around my apartment, unplugging every piece of electronics I own.
You are so dramatic.
Now, listen, not because I was afraid of an electrical fire, but because if my Wi-Fi router got fried right before the live finale started, I would have historically spiraled.
True.
I would have been out in the pouring rain, tapping into the neighbor's signal like a hacker in an espionage thriller. I was not missing Maya Jama.
The panic is so real. You cannot miss live television when the stakes are this high. You just can't. But honestly, there is also something about a massive thunderstorm that provides peak cozy vibes.
Oh, for sure.
It's that like parasocial comfort. The world outside is chaotic, so it immediately makes me want to put on my softest sweatpants, eat an entire family-sized bag of snacks, and just have deep, emotionally devastating conversations about my life choices.
Well, considering our actual daytime professions, our life choices mostly involve staring into people's open mouths.
True. For those in the Snark squad who might be new here, we are both dentists at different clinics.
Yes, we are.
So our daily reality involves trying to interpret what a patient is grunting at us while we have sharp metal tools hovering millimeters from their tongue.
Which, honestly, when you analyze it, is the perfect metaphor for navigating modern romance. High stakes, terrible communication, and a lot of unnecessary pain.
It really is. We were literally extracting the truth, babes.
We really are.
Okay, well, we have to do our highs and lows of the workday dentist edition before we get into the villa mess. It grounds us.
It does.
What was your high today?
Oh, my high was incredible. It was just a masterclass in human fragility.
Oh, boy.
I had a patient come in, a fully grown man in his mid-40s, entirely panicked, like completely convinced that he had shattered his molar on a rogue almond.
No.
He was sweating, being incredibly dramatic about the structural integrity of his jaw. He's like, Doc, it's in pieces.
What was it?
Well, I look in there, I do the exam with the overhead light, and I had to hand him the little mirror and gently, delicately explain that it wasn't a shattered tooth.
Don't tell me.
It was a popcorn kernel shell fused to his gum line.
Stop. A popcorn kernel?
Yes, I slicked it off with an Explorer tool in roughly 2 seconds. And the sheer relief, battling with this simultaneous deep shame in his eyes. I had to leave the room.
You didn't?
I did. I had to pretend to check his chart just so I wouldn't laugh directly in his face.
That is incredible. Men will literally go to the emergency room before they even consider flossing. It's wild.
They really will. What was your high, though?
Oh, mine was much sweeter. I had this adorable little old lady, Brenda, and she looked at me very seriously while I was adjusting her bib and asked if my scrubs came in a summer palette.
Wait, what?
Yeah. She told me very politely that the navy blue I was wearing was completely washing me out and clashing with my undertones.
Brenda is an icon.
I was like, honestly, Brenda, you're entirely right. I need to look into seasonal color analysis immediately. Navy is not my color.
Brenda is looking out for your brand aesthetic.
Like,
We absolutely love a supportive queen who understands color theory.
we do.
What was your low, though? Like the moment you just wanted to clock out.
Oh, my low hit exactly at 2:45 p.m.
The danger zone.
The literal danger zone. The caffeine from my morning coffee had completely evaporated from my bloodstream, leaving nothing but pure, unadulterated anxiety.
I know that feeling so well.
I had a back-to-back schedule of root canals, and my brain was already mentally curled up in my pajamas on the sofa. I was standing there holding a suction tube, just staring blankly at a bicuspid, profoundly zoning out, entirely consumed by the thought of whether Maya Jama was going to wear red or black to the finale.
It's all that matters. The 2.15 p.m. physiological crash is lethal, though.
It is. What was your low?
My low was a patient who kept trying to talk to me about his crypto portfolio while I was in the middle of a deep clean.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, sir, your gums are actively bleeding. I do not care about the blockchain. Please stop talking.
The crypto bros are everywhere.
They are inescapable. But it just made me laugh because it crystallized something for me today. Even the most chaotic, stressful, high-pressure day at the dental clinic has significantly less emotional warfare than a Love Island recoupling.
Oh, 100%.
I will happily take a difficult, infected root canal over standing at a fire pit waiting to see if a man brings a bombshell back from Casa Amor.
The clinical stakes are high, but at least we have Novocaine. They have nothing in that villa to numb the pain.
Nothing but iced coffee and delusion.
Exactly. You know what else gets me through those chaotic clinic days, though? The only thing that provides true, actual solace.
Say it.
And I need to declare this right now, unapologetically to the Snark Squad. McDonald's.
Yes.
McDonald's will always, always be our go-to. I don't care about Michelin stars. I don't care about your farm-to-table, artisanal, whatever.
No one cares.
A fresh box of salty fries and a terrifyingly crisp McDonald's Diet Coke can fix almost any bad day. It is a scientific fact.
It is genuinely medicinal.
Yeah.
The McDonald's Diet Coke hits the back of your throat with a level of aggressive carbonation that I'm pretty sure is technically illegal in some European countries.
It burns in the best way.
It doesn't just hydrate you, it literally resets your central nervous system.
Yes.
And the psychological beauty of it is the absolute predictability.
Yes.
In a world where men ghost you and crypto crashes, our McDonald's order never changes. Never. It is the one constant in a chaotic universe.
Never. But, okay, this does naturally spiral into our eternal heated debate. Because while the order is consistent, our philosophies fundamentally differ.
Here we go.
I am a firm believer that the McNugget is the superior vessel for sauce delivery.
You are so wrong.
I am right. A 10-piece nugget meal is the absolute pinnacle of fast food engineering. You get the crunch, you get the sweet and sour sauce. It's perfect. It's a tactile experience.
And you are so fundamentally wrong that it actually hurts me. Let's break down the culinary mechanics, Erica.
Please enlighten me.
The structural integrity of a nugget is fine, yes. It holds sauce. Great. But it entirely lacks the complex flavor profile of a classic double cheeseburger.
Complex flavor profile. It's fast food.
Think about the specific ratio of the meat to the aggressively melted cheese to those tiny little rehydrated onions. The sheer umami of it. You cannot beat the burger. Nuggets are for children's birthday parties and people who are afraid of flavor. Burgers are for adults who have just survived an 8-hour shift of looking at plaque and demand immediate savory satisfaction.
I am deeply offended on behalf of the nugget community. The disrespect.
Truth hurts, babes.
But you know what? We can agree on the overarching truth. Fancy restaurants come and go, culinary trends die out, but those golden arches remain forever.
Truly.
We don't care. McDonald's will always be our go-to.
Amen to that. But babes, enough about our romantic disasters, thunderstorms, and our aggressive McDonald's loyalty. The Snark squad has been patient.
They have.
Let's head into the Love Island finale, where somebody is about to win love, a briefcase full of money, and approximately 6 months of highly lucrative fast fashion influencer opportunities before they inevitably start a podcast.
Yes. Let's get into it. And we have to start with the historic, jaw-dropping pre-finale twist. Because the producers woke up this morning and chose absolute, unadulterated violence.
They chose chaos.
He destroyed the traditional format.
They took the playbook, they doused it in gasoline, and they lit a match. Let's provide some context for the Snark squad on why this was so monumental.
Please.
Usually we sit through a very predictable, highly sanitized final week. The final 4 couples just coast to the end. They put on these elaborate prom dresses. They stand by a pool and read poetry to each other that they clearly had producer assistants writing. And it's fine. It's a soft landing.
It's boring, usually.
Exactly. But this season, the producers threw an unprecedented wrench into the gears. They gathered all the dumped islanders back in Mallorca, sat them down, and forced them to vote on who deserved the finale least.
And it was brutal. Mika and Samraj took an absolute beating. They got 8 out of 18 votes from their former peers.
Ouch.
That has to sting on a deeply psychological level. To sit there on national television and realize that basically half the people you lived with, cooked with, and slept next to looked at your relationship and essentially said, yeah, no, absolutely not. We do not believe in you.
Well, let's analyze the sociology of the villa for a second, right? Why did they get those votes? Samraj was highly combative during his time in there. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
He did. He was always starting arguments over the dishes.
He lacked the basic diplomatic skills required to survive a closed ecosystem game show. And Mika, well, it always felt like she was hyper-aware of the cameras, constantly trying to produce her own storyline rather than just living in the moment.
Yeah, she was very performative.
The other islanders clocked that inauthenticity. So objectively, I wasn't shocked they were the ones voted out. But then the producers executed the ultimate checkmate. The text message.
Oh my God, the text. Imagine the emotional whiplash. They have just been publicly humiliated. They are literally packing their bags, probably dreaming of getting their confiscated phones back, checking their Instagram follower counts.
Trying to figure out their post-villa PR strategy.
Yes, exactly. And then they get a text after their eviction. And this text gives them the sole unilateral power to drag one of the remaining couples down with them. They instantly transformed from the Villa Rejects to the Grim Reapers.
It was magnificent television. Let's talk about the game theory of this moment. The power trip was palpable. You could see the strategic gears turning in their heads right behind their eyes.
You were loving it.
Oh, they thrived on it. They had a binary choice, drag down Lorenzo and Yulia or Tommy and Yasmin. And they ruthlessly, coldly dumped Tommy and Yasmin right before the live final. They completely shattered their dreams of the 50 grand and the glamorous prom night.
I am still reeling from it. I am devastated for Tommy and Yasmin. They were genuinely in love. Yes, they were such a remarkably strong couple. They had that undeniable chemistry. They survived so many producer-thrown obstacles, and they were robbed. Robbed of getting all dressed up, having their final romantic date with a string quartet, and standing up there with Maya Jama. It physically breaks my heart.
See, this is where my cynical, analytical heart completely thrives. Was it sad to watch people cry? Sure. But let's strip away the emotion and analyze the underlying strategy here.
You always do this.
Because it's a game. Mika and Samraj sat there and claimed they removed friendship and bias from their decision, saying they looked at who deserved it based on compatibility. Please, I reject that entirely. It was petty, calculated revenge.
You think it was purely revenge?
Absolutely. Think about the social dynamics at play. Mika and Samraj knew, objectively, that Lorenzo is the fan favorite. He's the golden boy of the season.
Everyone loves Lorenzo.
Exactly. If they dumped Lorenzo and Yulia, the British public would have hunted Mika and Samraj down for sport. They would have been the most hated villains in reality TV history. They couldn't touch Lorenzo.
That is a very fair point.
So they looked at Tommy and Yasmin, who were incredibly strong competition. By excising them from the game, Mika and Samraj guaranteed that their other closer friends, specifically Angelista and Simba, had a drastically better shot at standing on that podium. It was an apex predator move.
I don't know, social media completely lost its mind over it. I was scrolling through the hashtags during the commercial breaks, and people were furious. They were calling it the most stupid twist ever.
People just hate when the producers meddle too much.
And I kind of get it. People felt like it totally invalidated the public vote. We spend 8 weeks voting on an app, investing our time, only to have two bitter, dumped islanders make the final, most crucial cut instead of the viewers. It feels like a betrayal of the show's core promise.
It's reality TV, bestie. The concept of fairness is a carefully constructed illusion.
I know, but still.
The producers don't care about fairness. They care about engagement. And this twist generated millions of tweets. But honestly, the messiness certainly didn't stop when they left the villa doors.
No, it did not.
Once they were out, Tommy immediately activated his post-villa press tour mode. It was fascinating to watch.
Oh, the exit interview.
He stepped out of the villa and instantly started acting like the outside world executive producer of his own life. He did an exit interview and literally confessed to kissing Charlene off camera. Why on earth would you voluntarily admit that right as you get dumped?
Because he can't help himself. He is addicted to the drama. He was sitting in the debrief, practically bragging about it, trying to be the center of attention.
He was so chaotic.
He was like, yeah, I'm just here to spill the tea, give you guys the gossip. Me and Charlene shared a secret kiss. And poor Yasmin is just sitting next to him while he nukes his own reputation.
On live television.
Although, to be fair to Yasmin, she immediately claimed she knew all about it and he'd been completely transparent with her behind the scenes. But still, keep it in the vault, Tommy. Have some discretion.
But that's exactly it. Discretion doesn't get you headlines in the Daily Mail. Tommy knows the game. By confessing it himself, he controls the narrative before Charlene can sell the story to a tabloid.
I guess that's true.
It's actually a clumsy but effective form of preemptive crisis PR. And then, standing right next to this masterclass in media manipulation, we had Samraj.
Oh, bless his heart.
Bless his profoundly delusional heart. He was joking on live television that he was going to take Mika to a drive-thru for their first official date on the outside.
The look on her face, she looked like she wanted to physically push him into the nearest body of water.
The man operates with a staggering lack of situational awareness. You do not promise a woman who just got publicly humiliated a McChicken sandwich as a consolation prize. You just don't.
No. But as awful as that was, the awkwardness was just the appetizer for the actual live final. Maya Jama looked flawless, as she always does, wearing that stunning gown.
Always.
But the atmosphere, the silence in that room was so heavy you could hear their brand deals evaporating. All the dumped islanders were sitting in the bleachers looking so stiff, so incredibly uncomfortable. You just knew the resentment was bubbling right under the surface.
Oh, the tension was visceral. You could practically study it under a microscope. And then the producers, who were just absolute sadists this season, served up the main course of awkwardness. Priya's live apology.
They beef. Priya and Alicia. Let's break the mechanics of this down for the Snark Squad, because this was wild, unprecedented television. Earlier in the season, during a really heated, ugly argument, Priya committed the ultimate reality TV sin. She job-shamed Alicia. She looked at her and venomously told her to go back to her job at National Rail.
Which is such an oddly specific, incredibly elitist, and fundamentally terrible insult.
It really was.
Like a classic classist microaggression. And it backfired on Priya spectacularly because the actual RMT trade union, the real-world union representing hundreds of thousands of rail workers in the UK, got involved.
That was insane.
They issued statements, they publicly condemned Priya for her elitism, it stopped being a silly villa argument, and became a legitimate national news story about class dynamics. So, of course, the producers make Maya Jama bring it up live on air.
And Priya had to issue this formal, clearly rehearsed apology. But under the lights, she completely fumbled it.
She folded.
She started panic rambling, over-explaining everything. She was stuttering, saying, I just meant keep my name out of your mouth. I didn't mean to insult the rail workers. I didn't mean this. I didn't mean that. It was physically painful to watch.
It was so bad.
Alicia, though, an absolute queen. She stood her ground, didn't give an inch, looked Priya dead in the eye on live television and said, I work my ass off for my job, so yeah, I do appreciate it.
Alicia handled it with pristine dignity. But let's analyze Priya for a second.
Okay.
This wasn't an apology, bestie. This was a masterclass in brand safety triage.
You think it was just for PR?
Priya's management team almost certainly met her at the airport terminal the second she landed, holding a whiteboard that said in giant red letters, apologize to the train lady or you lose the boohoo deal. She didn't mean a single word of that apology. She didn't have a sudden moral awakening about the dignity of the working class. She was just trying to stop the PR bleeding so she can still secure a six-figure contract selling detox tea on Instagram next week.
See, I push back on that. I really disagree.
Aren't you trusting?
No, I think it was a genuine mistake made in a ridiculously high-pressure, sleep-deprived environment. When you're locked in that villa, completely cut off from your support system, your brain turns to mush. Your cortisol levels are through the roof.
Sure, but
You say stupid defensive things when you're angry and cornered. I think Priya realized how terrible it sounded once she got out, saw the overwhelming backlash, and genuinely wanted to clear the air and make amends as a human being.
we will agree to profoundly disagree on Priya's moral compass and crisis PR strategy. But the outside world updates they dropped during that live show were giving me life.
Yes.
The updates.
Alicia and Ethan casually dropping the bomb that they're exploring things now that they are both out. Did not see that strategic alliance coming. I gasped. Ethan looked so smug about it, too, just grinning at the camera.
I was loving it.
And then there's Aiden, Kavan's brother, who is apparently still struggling to get a single kiss from Priya on the outside. She is making him work for it, and honestly, good for her. Make him sweat. Control the narrative, Priya.
Aiden is down bad. He is fighting for his life in the friend zone. But okay, let's move on to the actual core of the finale.
Sure.
The reason we suffered through 8 weeks, we need to break down the final 3 couples.
Yes, let's do it.
Coming in third place, Angelista and Simba.
The emotional journey these two have been on, it is the quintessential classic Love Island narrative arc.
The bad boy gets tamed.
Exactly. Early on, Simba was moving mad. For anyone who mercifully hasn't watched reality TV, moving mad means his eyes were wandering. He was exploring every single romantic option, pulling girls for chats, giving everyone the exact same rehearsed lines. He was a menace.
A total menace.
But Angelista, she stayed so poised through the entire ordeal. She stayed radically true to herself. She didn't scream. She didn't throw things in the kitchen. She just elegantly, patiently waited for him to realize he was being an absolute idiot.
But I did eventually realize it. And the producers made absolutely sure we knew he realized it by showing us repeatedly in slow motion the moments of Simba holding Angelista's hair back while she was crying or upset over the drama he caused.
Oh.
Which is, I have to say, weirdly intimate, slightly gross, but undeniably effective television.
It was so romantic to me. I loved seeing Simba's emotional growth. When Maya Jama asked him tonight what specifically drew him to her, he didn't give the typical selfish boy answer.
What did he say?
Usually the guys on this show say, oh, she looks after me, she makes me breakfast every morning, she makes me feel good about myself. It's all about utility.
Right, what you can do for him.
Yes, but Simba, he praised her for her elegance, her grace, her intelligence, the fundamental woman she is. He praised her internal qualities, not just the physical or emotional labor she performs for him. That is true, measurable growth.
It is growth, sure, on paper. But it is also a fantastic, highly calculated media training storyline.
Oh, calm.
Let's look at the mechanics of the reformed bad boy trope. Simba is a very smart, very observant guy. He knows exactly how to play the reality TV game. He has incredible verbal dexterity.
He does talk a lot.
I predict, with absolute unwavering certainty, that Simba is going to milk this exact reformed bad boy who learned how to respect women image on every single male-centric podcast in the UK.
No.
Give it 3 weeks and he's going to be sitting across from Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO, wearing a neutral-toned turtleneck, talking about how holding Angelista's hair taught him critical lessons about vulnerability and corporate synergy.
You are so deeply, irredeemably cynical, it actually hurts my soul. I think they really love each other. They are already planning a cousin's bottomless brunch to merge their extended families.
A bottomless brunch. How groundbreaking.
That is real-world commitment, babes. You don't introduce a man to your aunties if it's just for a podcast tour.
We'll see if the brunch actually happens organically, or if it magically turns out to be a highly orchestrated, sponsored post for a Prosecco brand. I'm just saying, follow the money.
I can't with you.
Anyway, let's move up the podium. Second place, Yasmin and Kavan. Now this was a messy, fascinating, sociologically rich journey.
So deeply messy. Let's remember the context here. Kavan arrived as a bombshell alongside his brother Aiden.
Yes, the sibling twist.
A bombshell is designed to break up existing couples, but arriving with a sibling changes the entire psychological dynamic of the villa. Having a family member in there means you can never fully escape your real-world reality. You can't just play a character.
Exactly, because your brother will call you out.
And their path was incredibly rocky because of it. They were literally the only couple this season to have an actual official break.
Yes, the infamous break. And we have to dive into the psychological baggage that led to that fracture. The affair in plain sight rumors.
Oh, that was so intense.
Kavan was so deeply paranoid, highly suspicious, that Yasmin was getting way too close to Lorenzo before Consummate More happened.
Yeah.
And honestly, watching the producer edits back, the showrunners definitely wanted the audience to believe there was a secret, bubbling Lorenzo romance. They planted those seeds brilliantly.
The Twitter challenges where they read public opinions, the movie night clips exposing secret conversations, the producers absolutely piled it on to trigger Kavan's insecurity.
And they knew exactly what buttons to push.
Kavan saw Yasmin standing alone at the fire pit during the Casa Amor recoupling and completely lost his mind. He spun out. But eventually, they found their way back to each other. Yasmin said tonight that she was sold on his aura the second he walked in.
His aura, right. Let's strip away the buzzwords and talk about the real relational dynamic here.
Okay.
Let's talk about family systems and attachment styles.
Here comes the analysis.
First, the age and maturity gap. Yasmin is significantly older, more established, and vastly more emotionally mature.
It's true.
I call Kavan's endless patience, his constant need for reassurance, and his spiraling overthinking the baddie tax.
The baddie tax.
It's the emotional tax he had to pay to be with a high-value woman like Yasmin. She is entirely out of his league. He implicitly knows it, and he spent the entire season exhibiting a textbook, anxious, preoccupied attachment style, terrified every second that she was going to wake up and realize she could do better.
The baddie tax. I am dying. That is so accurate, though. He was constantly sweating, but I really genuinely hope the pressures of the outside world don't tear them apart.
It'll be tough.
Underneath the anxiety, they seem to have a really fiery, genuine connection. And did you catch the moment tonight where Yasmin strictly forbade Aiden from taking her friend Bella on a date?
Oh, I loved that.
She looked at Kavan's brother and was like, absolutely non-approved. Bella deserves better. She loves Kavan, but she knows exactly who his brother is, and she's protecting her peace.
Oh, she clocked Aiden's entire personality immediately.
Mm.
She essentially looked at him and said, I will tolerate your presence at family holiday dinners because I have to, but you're absolutely not ruining my best friend's life.
Yes.
That is iconic boundary-setting behavior. Which brings us to the ultimate moment of the night. The winners. First place, Yulia and Lorenzo.
The undisputed kings and queens of the villa. Let's talk about this incredible journey.
Let's.
Yulia arriving during Casa Amor with that gorgeous, intoxicating European Polish accent. And Lorenzo literally manifesting her existence.
They really did.
He had been describing his exact dream girl for weeks, to the boys, down to the hair, the vibe, the accent, and then she walks through the door, and he was just like, there she is, my brain created her.
It was almost too perfect. The producers probably scoured the earth to find a woman who matched his exact verbal description just to secure this storyline.
You think it was cast that specifically?
Without a doubt. He took one look at her, and his solid rock persona entirely crumbled. But we need to acknowledge how insanely fast they moved.
It was
In the Love Island time vortex, declaring yourselves exclusive in just 4 weeks is the psychological equivalent of getting married and buying a house on the second date. It is a massive adrenaline rush that often completely crashes in the real world.
But they have such great natural banter, it doesn't feel forced. The small plate theory was the funniest, most revealing conversation of the entire finale.
Oh my God, the small plates.
Lorenzo trying to clumsily explain to Maya Jama that in his mind there are small plate girls that you just casually date, you share them, you don't commit, and then there are main starter dessert girls that you fully commit to and invest everything in. He was basically calling Julia a full three-course meal.
It was a horrific, deeply problematic culinary analogy that essentially compartmentalizes women into objects of casual consumption versus serious investment. But against all odds, they clearly understood each other's bizarre language.
They just get each other.
And then, the absolute climax of the night, the 50,000-pound question. Maya Jama asks the standard, generic question of what they are going to do with the massive cash prize. And Julia, completely unbothered, entirely deadpan, jokingly demands that Lorenzo move in with her now that they have the cash flow. On live television, putting the man on the spot in front of millions of viewers.
I loved it. It was so bold. She secured the bag and the man in one sentence.
Iconic behavior.
But we have to transition to the darkest moment of the broadcast. The moment immediately after they won.
The snub.
The crowning moment. The confetti is falling from the ceiling. The music swells. Maya Jama screams their names as the winners. And then the glaring, unavoidable snub.
The tea here is absolutely scalding. This was wildly awkward live television.
It was.
The kind of thing PR managers have nightmares about. Seconds after the win is announced, the runner-up, Jasmine, rushes over. She grabs Lorenzo in this big, tight, emotional hug, and then she completely, aggressively, purposefully bypasses and ignores Julia.
He literally walks right past her.
Does not even look at her, doesn't offer a hand, a smile, nothing. Just a total physical swerve.
My jaw physically dropped. I had to grab the remote and rewind it 3 times just to make sure I wasn't imagining things.
It was so blatant.
It wasn't just a misconnection in the chaos of the confetti. It was a deliberate, calculated swerve. What is the actual truth behind this villa feud? We know they had tension over the weeks, but to do that on live TV, at the exact moment this girl achieves the biggest win of her life.
It all connects back to the beginning of the sociological hierarchy of the villa.
How so?
Connect this to Kavan's early jealousy over Jasmine and Lorenzo. Remember those affair in plain sight rumors we just discussed?
Yeah.
I am fully convinced that Jasmine secretly, deeply resents Julia for taking Lorenzo off the market. Jasmine wanted to be the main character of this season.
Yeah.
She wanted to be paired with the golden boy. And then this random girl from Casa Amor swoops in, effortlessly steals the guy, and eventually steals the crown. It's a classic bruised ego.
Oh, I totally fundamentally disagree with that, Reed. I don't think Jasmine wanted Lorenzo romantically at all. I think they just had friend chemistry.
Really?
Yes, I actually think Julia might be a bit of a mean girl behind the scenes, exactly like some of the dumped Islanders claimed in their exit interviews.
Oh, interesting. Remember her intense clashes with Lola? Julia does not back down from an argument. She can be sharp. Maybe Jasmine was just showing fierce loyalty to the girls who felt iced out and intimidated by Julia's personality.
Well, the internet is just as fractured and divided as we are right now. The Reddit forums are an absolute toxic war zone.
Oh, I bet.
Read the room on social media. Half the fan base thinks Julia saved the entire season by standing up to a clique of mean girls led by Lola. They view Julia as this fiercely independent queen who didn't need backup and spoke her mind.
Which I kind of agree with.
But the other half, and I am firmly planting my flag in this camp, argue that Julia and Lorenzo only won because the British public is obsessively, blindly in love with Lorenzo. The halo effect around him carried her to the finish line.
People do love Lorenzo, that's undeniable. But come on, they love them as a cohesive unit. They love the romance.
Do they? Let's talk about the glaring red flags that everyone is choosing to ignore. Let's talk about linguistic respect.
Oh boy. Lorenzo mispronounced Julia's name for basically the entire duration of the season.
That was a cute inside joke. He said it on a podcast clip they played. It was just a silly bit between them.
A bit. Or a subconscious sign that he doesn't respect her enough to learn the basic phonetics of her identity. I'm telling you right now, if a man mispronounces my name for 4 consecutive weeks, he is getting blocked on every platform, not getting handed half of 50,000 pounds.
You are so harsh.
He was the most popular boy in that villa from day one, and she was just incredibly lucky to be the one standing next to him when the music finally stopped playing.
You are so deeply pessimistic. I think they have real, tangible chemistry. Which actually leads me perfectly into what I want to do next. Let's lay all our cards on the table for the Snark Squad. Let's do our final couple power rankings.
Okay, let's unpack this systematically. We have a clear mission.
Tell them the rules.
We are ranking the final 3 couples, plus our robbed king and queen, Tommy and Yasmin. And we are using strict analytical criteria, chemistry, communication, authenticity, entertainment value, and the statistical chances of surviving outside the villa in the real world.
I'll start, and I am standing my ground. At the very top of my power ranking, undisputed number 1, Yulia and Lorenzo.
Of course you'd say that.
They have raw, visceral chemistry. You can practically see the electricity in the way they look at each other across a room. They are authentic, they didn't play childish games, and I truly believe they will survive on the outside because they genuinely balance each other's energies out.
I violently, fundamentally disagree with your assessment. Julie and Lorenzo are middle of the pack for me. My number 1, fiercely and unapologetically, is Jasmine and Kavan.
Are you joking?
If we're looking at sheer entertainment value, they strapped this entire season to their backs and carried it. The drama, the psychological break, the brother dynamic, and let's talk about post-Villa brand synergy, which is the only thing that actually guarantees survival.
Here we go with the brands.
Jasmine is a marketing executive's absolute dream. She has the look, the vocabulary, the audience capture. They're going to secure the biggest bags. Do I ding them heavily on communication? Yes, absolutely. Kavan overthinks everything to the point of neurosis. But as a reality TV power couple, they are an unmatched corporate asset.
You are ranking human relationships based on brand deals and corporate synergy. I am ranking them based on love and emotional connection.
This is a televised game show, bestie. Love is merely a happy byproduct. Followers are the actual currency they are competing for. Be realistic. Where are you putting Tommy and Yasmin on your board?
I'm putting Tommy and Yasmin at a very solid number 2.
Okay, there.
They were grounded, they communicated beautifully through conflicts, and they had wonderful chemistry. If they hadn't been maliciously dumped by Mika and Samraj in that producer twist, they would have been in the top 2 easily, maybe even challenging for the win.
I'll concede that. Tommy and Yasmin are my number 2 as well, strictly because they feel like the most psychologically normal people in a house completely filled with narcissists and maniacs, which inherently means Angelista and Simba are sitting at the very bottom of both our lists.
Sadly, yes. I absolutely adore Angelista, but I just don't know if Simba's newly acquired communication skills are going to hold up under pressure when he's out in the VIP sections of clubs in London without producer supervision to keep him in line.
Exactly. The real world is a very different test.
All right.
Moving on. Looking at how they all acted tonight at the finale, it feels exactly like watching a high school graduating class.
It does.
If we had to vote and hand out the Villa Yearbook superlatives to our finalists right now, who do you have for most likely to start a podcast?
Oh, this is the easiest, most undeniable one of the entire night. Simba. 1,000% Simba. He has the absolute gift of relentless conversation. He loves the sound of his own voice, and he is constantly pulling people aside to give long-winded speeches about growth, vulnerability, and the bigger picture. He is literally one wing light and a microphone away from a Spotify exclusive deal.
He's probably frantically designing the neon logo for the Lion's Den with Simba on his phone as we speak.
Yeah.
Okay, what about biggest flirt?
Lorenzo, obviously. The man manifested his dream girl out of thin air in Casa Amor. He knows exactly what to say. He lowers his voice. He looks deep into their eyes with that intense stare. He is an absolute weapon.
A weapon of mass emotional destruction. I completely agree. Now, best hair under pressure.
Has to go to Angelista.
Undeniably.
And honestly, a secondary shout out to Simba for being the designated hair holder. Through all the emotional tears, the stressful recouplings, the dramatic Spanish rainstorms, her hair never moved a single inch out of place. Flawless execution.
Pristine structural integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, CEO Mixed Signals. This category is highly competitive this season. There were a lot of contenders.
So deeply competitive, but it has to be Kavan.
Yep.
The man is a walking, talking question mark. Initiating the break, bringing his brother's external drama into his own internal relationship, the constant dizzying overthinking he gives you emotional whiplash. Jasmine deserves a literal medal for successfully navigating that psychological maze.
He is the global poster child for anxious attachment. And finally, the most lucrative superlative, most likely to be back on reality TV.
Jasmine, she is pure, unadulterated television gold. She inherently understands the assignment. She gives face to the camera. She gives compelling drama. She delivers iconic, quotable one-liners. If she and Kavan don't work out on the outside, I need her cast on a reality dating show set in a luxurious ski resort immediately.
Oh. Executives are already aggressively drafting her contract for an all-star season in a back room somewhere. Her return is inevitable, which naturally leads us to place our final bets on what actually happens next in the real world. Our post-Villa survival predictions. Let's put our money where our mouths are. First prediction, which couple statistically lasts the longest?
I am going to completely shock you here, but I truly think it's Angelista and Simba.
Wait.
I know we put them at the absolute bottom of our power ranking, but hear me out. They are already planning that cousin's bottomless brunch. They are actively integrating the families. When a couple skips the superficial influencer parties and goes straight to Sunday brunch with the aunties, that shows a foundation for longevity.
You are hopelessly, tragically romantic and entirely naive to the mechanics of PR. But I respect the purity of your vision.
Thank you. What's yours?
I actually think Tommy and Yasmin last the longest, purely out of spite.
Spite.
They want to prove Mika and Samraj and the producers entirely wrong. Never underestimate spite. It is an incredibly powerful bonding agent. Okay, next prediction. Which couple moves in together way too quickly?
Yulia and Lorenzo. She literally asked him on live TV. She put the verbal deposit down in front of Maya Jama and the entire British public. They're going to be enthusiastically signing Elise and Kent by next Tuesday, I guarantee it.
Oh, 100%. They are going to rush into it on this post-win adrenaline high, immediately realize they have entirely incompatible domestic habits, and that cute small plate banter is going to rapidly devolve into screaming arguments about who forgot to load the dishwasher.
No, I think they'll be cute.
We will see. Next up, who becomes the biggest, most financially successful influencer?
Jasmine. She has the undeniable aura. She has the curated aesthetic. She has the baddie energy. She is going to be sitting front row at London Fashion Week, dressed in head-to-toe designer, and we are all going to be blindly clicking her affiliate links to buy whatever she tells us to.
I have absolutely no notes on that. She is going to completely eclipse everyone's follower counts by Christmas. Finally, who ends up crawling back onto our television screens first?
I feel like it's going to be Tommy and Yasmin. Because they were so unfairly robbed of their final spot, they desperately need a redemption arc to soothe their egos. I could easily see them doing a couples physical competition show, something where they can compete together and scrape back the national screen time they missed out on tonight.
I completely agree. Tommy is basically vibrating with the need for more camera time. He's probably pitching a docuseries called Tommy's Truth to a network executive at the wrap party right now.
He really is. Oh, what a spectacularly messy season. The absolute chaos, the devastating heartbreak, the sheer unbridled delusion of it all. Snark Squad, we have completely unpacked our theories, but we have to turn this over to you now. We need you in the comments, in the DMs, everywhere.
We demand your data and your opinions.
Tell us, did the right couple actually win the money tonight, or was it just a total predictable popularity contest for Lorenzo? Which finalist's behavior actually surprised you the most throughout this whole 8-week psychological fever dream?
And, most importantly, the only question that truly matters for our ongoing psychological profiling of our listeners, what is your forever McDonald's order? Are you team structural nugget integrity, or are you team complex burger flavor profile? We need to know who we are dealing with.
Defend your nuggets in the comments, Biggs. Thank you all so much for spending this incredibly chaotic, messy, beautiful season with us. We have loved every single second of breaking it down and spiraling with you.
And we truly have. Now go hydrate yourself, check your Wi-Fi router for damage, and maybe, just maybe, delete the dating apps for a few days to protect your peace.
Stay flirty, stay delusional, and we'll see you on the snark side.